Hi, I'm Julietta, the Magical PT. Welcome to the Being Wonder Woman podcast, where we support modern day women in developing their superpowers and acquiring the tools they need to achieve all their desires. Join us each week as we interview amazing women in the community to share their insights and how they use their tools to achieve their desires. Today, I am joined with my bestie, Allyson, and we are going to be talking about gratitude.
Yay! I'm so excited. So those of you that are joining us right now, this is our very first podcast / live YouTube video. So we are super excited to be with you today, and we hope that you get some value out of this. Yay. So you want to share with them what we're going to talk a little bit? Well, I know you said we're talking about gratitude today.
We're talking about gratitude today. You know, we just had Thanksgiving and, Christmas and New Year's coming up. I think you and I have talked before that gratitude is always a part of our lives, but especially during the holiday seasons, I think it, we just get to emphasize it a little bit more and bring it to the forefront. And, what better topic to have than gratitude right now?
Right? I know. It's like I'm talking about gratitude in my Facebook group because I think this is a great
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Like you got to talk about so if you're watching this video a year from now, we are still in the thick of this pandemic. And so I think so many people are just struggling right now mentally. And one of the things I think Julietta and I can both attest to, which you're going to learn here in a minute, is that gratitude has definitely played a big part in our lives and a big part in us growing as professional businesswomen, as girlfriends, as sisters, as daughters, as mothers, all of that stuff. So I'm going to let you go ahead and just dive right in and let's get started.
So part of the thing we do with this podcast is the format that we're using is we have 4 questions for each episode. And so we'll dive right into question number 1 for you. Allyson, what abilities do you have that you're grateful for?
I guess I should have been thinking about this before we got on. Okay, what abilities do I have that I'm grateful for? Actually, you know what? The ability I have that I'm grateful for is even though I consider myself kind of an introvert when it comes just to my everyday life, when it comes to my business life, I'm definitely not an introvert. Like I can walk into any room when we used to walk into a room in person, or I can get onto any Zoom call or conference and I feel pretty confident that I can begin and hold and create conversations with whoever I meet, even if I don't even know them. So I think that one of the abilities that I'm super grateful for, because I know not everybody has that ability to feel comfortable like that. So my ability to be able to walk into a room or into a setting, have conversation, get to know people, I think is a gift for sure. How about you?
It's definitely a gift. And I think you need to share that gift with me because people are always shocked when I tell them that I'm an introvert and they're like, no, you're not. And I'm like, oh, you have no idea how difficult it is for me to walk into that room. I'm the one in the corner and praying for someone to come talk to me. But
what's so funny with this whole pandemic, I've almost become more introverted when it comes to outside of work because we can't / aren't going anywhere. So I'm like, okay, I'll just stay home.
Yeah, I've had a few introverts say to me, the pandemic is the best. I just get to be my introverted self. So being able to switch from being an introvert to an extrovert is a superpower ability. So that's awesome. So
right,
for me, my ability that I'm super grateful for, as the quote unquote magical PT, I guess it's something that's always been in me but not something that I was aware of until a few years into my career. But I seem to have super healing magical powers that I am able to use to help people heal. And, I'm super grateful for it. I absolutely feel super blessed to have that power and to be able to share it with people. And, I feel extremely fortunate that every single day that I come to work, I get to use this. Like it I can't even describe like how special it feels to be able to do that and share that with people. And it's why I get up every morning and do what I do.
And you are amazing at it for sure. As my kids always say when they see you, I don't know what she just did, but it worked.
Yeah, I have a lot of gratitude for it, and the gratitude makes it grow. My appreciation for it makes it grow. So,
for sure.
And having other people express their gratitude for it, like, wow, it's amazing.
Who else do I know that can balance my eyeballs when they need balanced, right? True.
It's really cool how limitless what can be affected by it is. So that's cool.
That's awesome. Okay. Second
Next question. What experience have you had that you're grateful for?
You know what I would say, I think is kind of a tie between being married for 27 years to my college sweetheart and raising my kids. Like, I guess I'm going to have to go with kind of raising my kids, because when I was in the thick of raising my kids, so if you're joining us today and you have kids that are like 3 and 5 or even 10 and 13, any of those ages, it is so extremely stressful and you feel like it's never going to end and you're not really even sure half the time if you're doing a good job. I think on the flip side of that, I am so grateful for all of those experiences with them, because it grew me as a person for sure. Like, definitely, everything I went through with my kids has made me who I am today. And for that matter, everything I went through in my marriage has made me who I am today. And they weren't always easy times, any of them. So I would say that all of that time period, I'm super grateful looking back on. And that's kind of, I would say, where I'm grateful for.
Yay.
Okay. How about you, girl?
So, I mean, there's infinite experiences in my life that I'm grateful for, but I think one of the things that had the hugest impact on who I am today was me being a foreign exchange student. I lived in Venezuela for a year back in 1986, way before all the craziness that's happening there right now. But, just leaving.
There was no social media and stuff, and you didn't have a cell phone, right, when you did that?
Oh, no, nothing. I mean, it was this total detachment from everything that I knew. And, I'm from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, a relatively small town, very, I had a very sheltered upbringing. You couldn't ask for like a more Leave It to Beaver upbringing, like everything was perfect. And so here I'm, shipped off to another country, living in Caracas, like it was a city of 6 million people.
Right.
People speaking a language that's new for me, and like just everything that I learned about myself, about other cultures, about other people.
Uh-huh.
Those are skills that have just allowed me to accomplish and live fearlessly.
Yeah, I would agree, because even in times, and I don't know when you and I have been out, and if people are speaking maybe Spanish or Portuguese, or you can follow along. Like, I could not follow along with anything. That, to me, being an exchange student is such a huge value in and of itself. Just to be able to learn another language, I think, is so huge. But I agree with you. I think that it has given you a great ability to be very accepting of all kinds of different people, which plays so well for you with your business, because you are seeing and dealing with all kinds of different people and cultures and everything, ethnicity and races and everything. So I think that's what a great experience were you in college or high school?
I actually went the year between high school and college. So I was there as a high school student. I attended a high school.
Nice.
Yeah, it was, and I didn't just meet that culture, but there were exchange students from all around the world there. So I got exposed to so many other cultures there. And, all those people are still in my life today, which is so amazing. So.
Yeah, that is so awesome. And I think that's such a shame for our kids right now in this pandemic is they can't do any of this exchange student stuff right now.
Yeah.
That's not happening, which is sad. Okay.
All right. I think it's time to move on to our next question.
Yes.
So what are you taking for granted that if I stop to think about it, you're grateful for?
Okay, this is so funny because you and I were talking about this and I already forgot what it was. I know. I remember now. I had to stare at it for a second. So those of you that are, this is our first podcast, first video. Those of you that are new to us, you don't know Julietta and I. A little background on me is that you heard me say before, I've been married for 27 years. I have 2 adult children, 21 and 24. My majority of my time was spent being a stay-at-home mom. I did always work part-time during those times, but really my full-time job was my kids. And then my kids both dealt with different medical issues throughout the years. And so it was just a very intense time period for me being with them. So I'm now an empty nester. And I think I really I take that for granted. I know that sounds weird, but so many times I am sad because I miss the chaos and the activity and the kids in and out of the house and the activities and all that stuff. It's so quiet now, but in the reality, that's so great because it is allowing me to completely develop myself, my career, my company as a wellness coach. Like it's completely changing my whole trajectory. So I have to constantly kind of remind myself, like, I should be grateful right now that I'm an empty nester and they're doing really well and they don't need my constant supervision and they are adulting, you know what I mean? And I can actually put time into other people because my passion really is to help other moms and other women, professional women, just like you and I are doing with this podcast and with this video. So I have to just remind myself every day to not take being an empty nester for granted because it truly is a gift right now. And how about you?
That's it's good awareness there. So I'm getting better at this, but I do take myself for granted a lot. And I downplay who I am and what I bring to this world so often. And it's something I'm definitely getting better at, learning to appreciate myself more and appreciate what I do. And it's interesting because it's something like, when I'm working with my clients that I'm often pointing out to them that they need to appreciate themselves more. And each time I do that for them, it's like a reminder for myself to appreciate myself more. And, I think it is a pandemic that there is not enough self-awareness and self-appreciation, and everyone out there needs to not take themselves for granted and give some gratitude to yourself. And gratitude's just love, and so self-love out there.
I agree with you. I think that we both are on that same page of, like you said, not taking yourself for granted, or like I always put it, like putting yourself first. I think we're so bad as women as taking care of ourselves and putting ourselves first.
100%. And this is something that I also had to, this is kind of going into what I was going to talk about in the next question a little bit. But if we don't put ourselves first, like at some point we're not going to be our cup is going to be empty and we're not going to have anything left to give everybody. We're all such givers and we just want to help and support everyone. And if we don't give to ourselves first, we're not going to be able to give to others. So yeah, it's really, it's not selfish, it's selfless to put yourself first. All right, are we ready for the next question? Oh, what do you got?
I think we're actually okay. We're okay. So you know what, it's always, the image I like to use is the image of on an airplane when the flight attendants tell you to put your mask on first before you help your kids or anyone next to you. You have to take care of you first. If you're not taking care of you, it's never going to happen.
100%.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Our last question is so perfect for right now, being that we're all in the pandemic and possibly, the biggest challenges and difficulties that we're going through. But what is there about the challenge, difficulties you've experienced or are currently experiencing that you can be thankful for?
I would have to say, yeah, this is so perfect right now with the pandemic. One of my girlfriends and I were just talking about this, and she said to me, she said, you know what? She said, I'm never going back to being as busy as I used to be. It is this forced me to slow down, and I am so much happier. My kids are happier. I think that's a big thing a lot of us are feeling. The constant rush and go has definitely calmed down. So I think for me, the biggest thing I would say just in the last year that I've learned and that I'm grateful for is to slow down a bit. I actually take the time to go out in my backyard and walk barefoot in my grass now because I can. In between, I work from home. So in between, I go out and I take a walk barefoot because nothing's better than having your actual feet touch the ground and the earth and that energy. And so I think I would say is just the difficulty initially of going from, it's like a speeding car coming to a sudden stop that we all have experienced back in March. But now that we've all kind of been able to take a step back and readjust and get used to that, I think it's been very good for a lot of people. So in that way, I am grateful for the pandemic that it has caused us to slow down.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. For me, it's just been being able to shift and learning that no matter what's happening out there in the world, you can shift, pivot, whatever you want to call it, and still create success in everything else that you want in your life. Yes. Just last night I was thinking I almost feel right now I'm happier than I've ever been in my life. And I just had a birthday and everybody was showering love on me and it just put me in a really, really good mood. But for real, yes, there's this pandemic and this stuff is going on out there in the world, and I can still be living my best life. It doesn't matter what's out there. Your life is what you choose it to be and what you make it. And so on a certain level, it's I'm grateful for this pandemic because it's allowed me to grow and learn things, and it's awesome.
I know. And you know what? I definitely want to say, because I know we have people listening in, it has not all been rose gardens and sunshine either. Julietta and I can attest to, she and I have both had moments where we've called each other up or texted one another and been okay, I am not doing okay. This is not going okay, because it has been hard. Pandemic or not, we all go through those moments in life. And I think that's one thing. And one of the reasons that you and I really feel so passionate about doing what we're doing, especially with this podcast, is that we want to be real about everything. And we have both been through a lot in our lives. We are on the second half of our lives.
Oh yeah.
am. I'll be there in a month. But yeah, I mean, I think that that's the reality is that, and you're so right. Like, you can do whatever you want and you have support. And I think that has been so incredible to find the support. Like, I know I've had good friends and, you know, Julietta and I are both in a networking organization. And so we have a lot of support there, but really seeing how many people really pulled together during struggles that we've been through has been incredible. Absolutely incredible. Like the resources, the encouragement, this everything.
Yeah. I'm like, you know, I'm super grateful for you and going through, you know, it's my birthday. Amazing. Seeing, like, all of the people, like when the messages were coming in, it was just like, wow, the people that I have that have my back, and then we're all here like lifting each other up and bringing each other through this. And everybody's growing so much and learning so much. And from day one, when this pandemic started, like I knew in my heart that it was here to create a shift in humanity.
Yes. And I remember you talking about that in the beginning. I remember back in March when this was all like when everything went from like here to here, you know, like I said, like a car going 60 miles an hour and totally putting on its brakes. I remember us talking and you saying like, this is hard, but this is needed. Like we need to take a breather, step back.
Well, and humanity needs a kick in the butt because we've been coasting and things need to change. And some people are going to get it and some people aren't, and they're going to get left behind. So step up and shift, people.
Right. I agree. All right. So I think that was all of our questions, right?
That is. We made it through our 4 questions.
Yay. All right. Well, you want to go ahead and close us out?
So, you know, I want to encourage anybody that's out there listening, like if you enjoyed what you heard here, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you see the upcoming videos that we have. And also know we're totally new at this, but we are going to get these up on podcasts. So we will have a Being Wonder Woman podcast, you know, that will be out there very soon. So watch for that. And stay in gratitude, be in gratitude, and watch your life shift.
Yeah,
you got anything else to say?
I don't think so. Aside from that, yeah, definitely subscribe. Click the subscribe button below, and definitely comment. We love to get comments and whatever support.
Yeah, comment, like, you know. Words of encouragement, and you know, anything, if there are any things that you would like us to talk about, you know, as you know, Wonder Women out there, you know who you are. You are the women that are changing this world, that are getting stuff done. You're raising amazing families, and you've got an amazing group of friends out there, and we've got this world to conquer. And let us know how we can support you, what you need help with in your, you know, in your daily lives, and we'll make sure that you get the support you need. Yay.
All right, girl. Yay. Well, I wish I could like hug you and say bye-bye. Hug.
Virtual hugs. Love you. Right. Love the audience, and see you soon.